Hello everyone, Liverpool 3, Manchester City 2, Liverpool are through to the FA Cup final. Sorry headphone users if I just shouted really loud. I am very happy, I'm very excited. It's a good time to be a Liverpool fan. We are here for the player rating show. I'm going to do this, you're going to do this. We're going to help each other out. So as we go through each player, just give me a number in the comments. If you've got an additional comment for each player, how well you thought they did or you weren't impressed with them. Although I don't think there was anyone who didn't impress, let me know because I'm going to do them as I go through. So you're in the Discord, you're in the YouTube comments, please do get involved. You can also vote for your man of the match as well. There should be instructions underneath me. So if you type !vote space plus the number of the player, please just do that for the man of the match. Don't be doing that when I'm going through each player. So I'm going to start with Alisson Becker. Just give me the number, not the vote stuff, just the number of how you thought he performed in this game. I think it was a bit of my game for Alisson Becker, actually. He didn't do anything too wrong, although we conceded 2 goals. There was 2 moments in the first half where his passing was off. I think one went out for a throw-in and one bounced off a City player. I think it fell to Foden in the end, and you're inviting pressure from Manchester City, but not as much pressure as Zach Steffen did, because he literally just gave us a goal. Other than that, there was a couple of moments where I thought he was really brave. Jesus had a chance within the second half. Alisson Becker, as we all well know, spreads himself really well, comes off his arm and goes out for a goal kick. I want to give him points just for being a magnificent, glorious bastard. But I can't do that. I'm going to some of your comments in here as well. Lots of 8s and 9s flying around in there as well. Ben Moulton, 8.5. Dynamic Video says Alisson for stopping several chances. Yeah, those big moments, one of them I just mentioned there with Gabriel Jesus. When we've already done that and invited pressure on from Manchester City, particularly when it was 3-1 as well, I don't want to spend the remaining 25, 30 minutes of a game at 3-2 because I think it's just too much. 4 minutes was enough as it stood there as well. Bird's Eye View Q8 says 10. Okay, that's pretty high in my opinion. 8 seems to be the consensus. Actually, George Liverpudlio says Alisson dodgy with his passing, I'm going to say. You ironically spelt passing wrong and said dodgy in the same sentence. Zarif Ismail says AB9, important saves, cool with distribution. So Charlotte S says, hi Ross, great show from you and Elf. Thank you very much. We're going to do it with you guys and Liverpool playing lots of good football. Yeah, 8 seems to be the consensus for Alisson Becker, so I'm going to do that for him. Let's go left back first. Let's do Andy Robertson, and we'll work our way that way down. You can see the benefits of resting Andy Robertson against Benfica. I mentioned it on a few shows, and I think I did it on the final whistle as well. Having Kostas Tsimikas, who I think is down there, being able to come in and perform and take away from Andy Robertson is the whole reason that we bought him. You're not playing Andy Robertson 3 times in a week saying, go 90 minutes, go 90 minutes, particularly at this stage of the season when things are so important. You saw the energy, the drive, even in 80, 90 minutes, he's running around, he's putting the pressure on, and that's what you get from not playing him. On top of that, he gets himself an assist. I thought he was great going forward. He was up against Jesus for large parts of that game. Questions where he was for Manchester City's first goal, I think it was, where the ball from Fernandinho was played around the other side of Virgil van Dijk, and you expect Robertson to be in that position. Loads of shouts from man of the match for Andy Robertson for this game as well. I thought he was absolutely exceptional. Zarif Ismail says Robbo 7.5 could do better with Mahrez. Yeah, I suppose so, but when you've got the ability to bring Mahrez on, who is a very good player, he's got pace, trickery, obviously gets in late behind to the byline later on in the game as well, getting past Robertson. But I think when you've been running as much as he did and put as much intensity into a game as he did when you get to the last stages, I think ultimately you're always going to suffer. But I thought he was sensational. Charlotte S says Andy 8, caught once or twice behind, but solid overall. Yeah, and again, Sion Gosh says the same thing. Caught in both goals, I think, unlike him. I think it's just the way that Liverpool play. Like, when it's his mad one, so 40-odd games of the season, we're still not used to it and we still don't like it. But I think, again, Andy App, 8.5, he was a YouTube member, thank you, Andy. Ryan Kiernan, 8.5 for Robbo. That early assist redeems the odd mistake. Yeah, it was he puts his right hand up and I always go, that means the first man, because it just feels like we're terrible every single corner and set piece that we take. But obviously he gets assist for Keita and Konate's header. So I think that comment is worthy, and I'm going to give him an 8 out of 10. Virgil van Dijk, the glorious man mountain that he is. Again, the high line is an issue for people, and it's an issue for us, all fans, when we're watching it. We just don't seem to like it. But the amount of aerial duels that he won, one-on-one duels that he won, the bullying of Jesus and Sterling, who aren't really, they're not tall, they're not big, so you don't expect them to win, certainly aerial duels in that sense as well. But it's the commanding of the back line. So we're talking about the high line in that sense today, and the amount of chances that Manchester City got. It was nowhere near the amount of chances that Man City got when we played them in the league, and it was nowhere near as much as when we played Benfica in midweek. And I said when I did the play ratings for that show, we missed him, and it's not just him as his presence and the aura that he brings, it's his commanding of the back line. It's telling people where to be, barking orders. You've already essentially got one up on the opposition when he's on the team sheet, which I think worked the opposite way for Benfica. When you go, well, Virgil van Dijk's not playing, I fancy our chances, but unfortunately we have Joel Matip and Konate in there as well. And the app says 9 for Virgil, what a tank. John Gordon, 8. Sarif Ismail, 8.5. Yeah, there's going to be loads of 8s in this one as well. George Liverpool says 7. Okay. Danny says, can we appreciate Trent's defensive performance? We'll come on to Trent in a second. And a couple of shouts from man of the match. Konate's in there as well. Okay, so I think Virgil van Dijk's going to get an 8 as well. This is playing true to Errol's point before the game even kicked off of saying we need 7s and 8 out of 10s from everybody on the pitch. Ibu Konate, 3 goals in 3 games from your centre-back. Says a lot. Leapt like a salmon, beat everybody else. A thunderous header. Stefan had no chance, even though he tried to put his hand up. But away from the goal, just more of what we saw against Benfica, and what we have seen in glimpses of him this season. He's got the power, he's got the pace, and he's got the confidence to back himself in certain situations. There was one chance, I think, he had a bit of a tussle with Raheem Sterling. It looked like Sterling got the pace on him, and I think he ends up giving it a free kick away in the end. But he's confident enough and strong enough to know that he's going to win that battle. Similarly, I think he had one with Phil Foden, and he basically just toyed with him. Phil Foden was trying to get the ball around him, and he was essentially holding a child at arm's length of just going, you can do what you want, mate. This ball's going to go out of play, and he didn't even do that. He stopped, got the ball turned, and won himself a free kick. So yeah, I think the fact that he's 22 years of age, he's scoring goals, he's learning from the likes of Virgil van Dijk in this game. He's being put in high-pressure situations like an FA Cup semi-final to get Liverpool through to a final, Champions League quarter-final to put Liverpool to a Champions League semi-final. The future is bright for that man and for this club for having him in there. As John Gordon says, Ibu, the Colossus, 9. Point for the goal as well, yeah. IMAX says, Big Ibu. Ryan Kiernan, 9.5 for Ibu. What of a tower of a man he is. Yeah, I've made I think it might have been the Benfica game, the first leg that I think he played that, and just like I made the joke if he said it's Thursday. You just do not argue with that man whatsoever. Siam Gosh says Big Ibu 9, lots of 9s. Mary Jane's Lounge says 9 as well for Ibu Konate. I think I'm going to go with the consensus. Oh, Andy says 10. I think the man of the match is moving his vest up. People trying to vote 8. Okay, sound. I did give you instructions. Paul McHugh, Konate is a wardrobe. What a player. What's a comment that is? Okay, let's give Ibu Konate a 9 because that's a consensus. That is in the chat. Trent Alexander-Arnold, just give me the number, please, just to save confusion. You can do the man of the match thing at the end, so just number and a comment of his performance. There'll be lots of questions about his defensive displays sometimes, which I think Alan Shearer picked up on before the game even started. Again, much similar to the high line, I think we're always going to have that. There was lots of balls that were being pinged over to Zinchenko and over to this side from Manchester City, and he had to battle throughout. A lot of those balls obviously didn't work out for Manchester City, particularly in the first half, but it was clearly a target that they wanted to go for, and I don't think they had much luck until later on in the game, and obviously one of the goals comes from the other side anyway. But I think with him gambling forward, we're always going to have that gap, and I don't think that's on him. I think that's how he's being told to play. And people can point out if he's out of position, he should be here, he should be there. If he's defensive all the time and he's in that position, he's cutting out attacks, then we then start questioning why is he not up here? Why is he not in the overlap for Salah? I think we're asking a lot of the players that we've got. Jay says 9, not his best going forward. George Liverpool again says okay, 8. Ian P92 says Trent fantastic defensively, a few trademark passes to add to it, yeah, 8. As Gazor Paiser says Trent 8, very good in possession, didn't make much mistakes defensively compared to the last City game, yeah, and that's all you can ask of. John Gordon, Trent robbed robbed him the ball 2 or 3 times in the box. The hatred. Yeah, there was a couple of times where he was actually inside our box, getting last-ditch tackles or just winning the ball. And I think he was helped by, as I said, this left-hand side was, for Man City, was clearly a target. But when he's got the support of other players, he can pick and choose his options. When you're one-on-one against like Jack Grealish and Riyad Mahrez, which will happen in these games, as he can be the best defender in the world, but they're also equally really good players. So I think we shouldn't slate Trent for that as well. Yeah, as Elimbo says, Trent had a brilliant. And the app, sorry, says Trent had a brilliant balance of defence and attacking. 9. Okay, 8s, 7, 8s and 9s. So I'm just going to go down the middle. His dynamic video says Trent 9, great at defending today. Let's give him an 8.5. I don't normally do 0.5s, but you know, this is where we're at in the world. Fabinho, I absolutely loved his performance. It was really funny actually, because Fernandinho was the opposite 6 for Manchester City, and it just looks like the careers are crossing over of what those two players are. Fernandinho has been brilliant for Manchester City, as much as it pains me to say, and it will pain you to hear. But he's obviously reaching that peak of, 35, 36 years old. He looks like he's leaving at the end of the season, but you can just see his legs are off it. You know, he's making stupid tackles, could have easily been sent off at various points in that game. But then you've got the young up-and-coming Brazilian defensive midfielder in Fabinho, shielding the defence, coming in, sticking his foot out, and it's not sticking his foot out and just, okay, I've won the ball back. He's sticking his foot out and putting Liverpool on attacks, playing through balls, so just knocking it to Thiago. I've done my bit, mate. I've won the ball back. You go and do your business, and Liverpool can go on the attack there again. Ben Ryan says 8 for Fabinho. Gazorp says Fabinho 9 with solid tackling and winning possession back in the middle. What's for dinner? Says 10. I'm jumping to Southport Wanderers to play on the beach. Sarafish Mal, Fabinho 9, controlled the midfield, unlike that last Sunday, much better. And that was one of the points that Errol made actually. We played Manchester City, I believe, a better Manchester City side. Hi Errol, you hear me mention his name. It's about learning from those mistakes. There's a lot of these players had midweek off to reflect on a Manchester City game. What went wrong? Why didn't we have possession? Why didn't we take control of the football pitch? How can I be better? And you could argue it was some of it, and a little bit was down to the performance of Fabinho and Jordan Henderson that were in the middle of the park that day. When Fabinho doesn't play well, Liverpool don't seem to play well, and we all seem to kind of fall apart. But when he's absolutely on it, like he was today, particularly in the first half, you know, Liverpool's players around him were just sensational. As Casey McCutcheon says, our most important player outside of Virgil van Dijk. I completely agree with that. Yeah, City pushed him all the time, didn't get hold of the ball. Loads of 9s, loads of 8s and a halves. I'm going to go a 9 for Fabinho as well. Thiago Alcantara, we'll start with him. I just run out of superlatives. That man, each and every time that we plays a game of football, it just shows what a classy guy that he is. I saw a tweet, I think it was from Joel Rabbits, who said it was mad to think that people thought Thiago slowed us down without taking the context of we had no Fabinho, we had no defence, he couldn't play his game. When this man's allowed to play his game, even up against the quality of Manchester City, it just opens up so many levels of what we're able to do. And even these lads at the front have been supplied with some of the best plays that you will ever see in world football. As I can see, you can all agree with me because 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10 or 9.5, 10. RHN says, Thiago 9, amazing passing and I'm grateful for him. Thiago, his play is just musical. 10 for Thiago, unreal for the 3rd goal. Thiago 9 out of 10, world fucking class. Yeah, I'm going to show that comment as well. Snipes Montana says 10 out of 10, I thought he was man of the match. Everyone gets a 10. Anything that isn't 10 is wrong. Okay, we're going to have to go for a 10 then. John Gordon, Thiago 9. He was the chef and came with the sauce today. Okay, well, let's go with that then. I'm going to give him a 10, and we'll see if he gets man of the match a little bit later on. I'm sure that he will. Someone else that performed, I got this sad. Someone else that impressed me today was Naby Keita, and very much for the same reason. That pressing isn't when we're pressing Manchester City's defence and the way that they played, and particularly with the goalkeeper. It's not just these three; it's him as well. Well, it's pretty much everyone, but him as well. Being that 4th person in the attack when you're defending, it's just cutting out another option. So when the goalkeeper's got the ball here and he's thinking, well, play it to the right back or left back, well, can't because he's to the rear. Who's the next one? Well, normally it's the defensive midfielder, but Naby Keita is straight on there each and every time. Put his body on the line. Again, he got a rest in midweek. Just have to be careful to say this because I don't jinx it, but we're getting glimpses of Naby Keita and him staying fit is crucially important for me to how Liverpool go on and win the FA Cup, how Liverpool can go on and win the league, and how we can win the Champions League, because he is. That midfield three in the first half might be, you could argue, was our best midfield three that we've got against that Manchester City side, and he was a crucial point in that. He's getting mixed reports, lots of 7s, 8 Naby. Someone say Naby new contract. Let's calm down a little bit. Keita 9.5. Matthew Jenner says 7 defence, game world class, but often slow in attack. Nikhil Reish says Keita 9, led every press and covered Trent when he needed to. I think it was Keita's best performance ever. 10, brilliant passing with the ball. RHN again. If Thiago is a 10, Keita deserves a 9. Keita very good, but Thiago was that edge better. Yeah, it's hard to disagree with any of these comments, to be honest. John Gordon, Naby lad, looking very good. Naby lad 9, need us Naby every version, every single game, which is the point I've just made there. Oh, lots of high scores, we're all happy. 10, anything else is wrong? Well, we've already done that one. Norman Fernie says Keita pocketed Bernardo. And Snipes Montana says 8 out of 10 for Naby today. He led the press from the field, linking very passes, was pivotal to the victory today. Yeah, I'm going to go with an 8 for Naby. No, I'm not, because I can't even write an 8 on a piece of there we go, an 8 for him. Where should we go first? We'll do Mane last, because I think there's a lot to say about Sadio Mane. I'm going to start with Mohamed Salah. Let's do Salah first. So give me a score out of 10 for Mohamed Salah and any additional comments that you have. Now, my piece on Mohamed Salah, and I'll be careful how I word this, is I think it's very easy to beat a man while he's down. He's not in the goal scoring form which we would like as fans. I don't think, honestly, do not think it's cause for concern. I don't think his contract, as soon as he crosses that white line, has anything to do with it. This man has just played a hell of a lot of football, and Liverpool have a very difficult choice, or Jurgen Klopp certainly has a difficult choice to say, okay, do I play him? Do I play him into form and hope that he gets a goal and picks himself back up? Do I rest him? I think that's the better for him, but how does that affect him mentally? We've got a squad which we need to use. Obviously, some of these lads got Benfica off midweek. He's fresh, he's fit and round to go. Accept that you're going to play exceptional defenders in each and every game. Accept that he gets marked by 2 or 3 lads every single game. And accept that he's part of a bigger picture in the team. He's been on goal drop by Mo Salah standards. He's still the top scorer in the Premier League. Liverpool are still scoring goals. Centre-back scoring 3 in 3. Fabinho went on a run the other week and scored loads of goals. Diaz is scoring. Mane got 2 today. It's not the Mo Salah show. It's not the Mo Salah team. Yes, you can be disappointed with, his output in terms of goals or assists or whatever you want, but I just think, I know we're marking him an individual performance today, but just because he's not scored a goal does not mean that he's been crap. Yes, there were moments where maybe his touch, his last decision, his final ball, being clinical when Mo Salah standards what we put to him, but his standards and what we think of him is just through the roof. So he could have had a goal. I think there was 1 or 2 shots that he got into good positions. He worked it well, cut on his inside, on his left, and the shot was just really weak, which I'm kind of fine with. So I need to get that off my chest, so I feel good now. Gareth Bird saying 7 all he needs is 1 goal and he'll go back to his best. You'll never walk alone. Yeah, 100%. Michael Grant 7 should have been held up the ball at the end. Salah needs to regain form, confidence 7. Could have been an 8 had he put that chip in. Yeah, I thought he scored that chip as well, but it obviously hits the post when Zinchenko. I don't know what Zinchenko's doing. He's trying to hit the ball back to the goalkeeper, but he's got it all wrong. Stan Kask. Salah being on the pitch means his defence is being pulled away from other players, integral to the squad. Yeah, 100%. Would you take more goal? No go. Oh, okay, I'm not even going to get into that today. If Mane did what Salah did today, everyone would give Salah a 4. Yeah, I don't believe that. Maybe people in the comments would. Ian P92 says Salah 7. I think the AFCON's took a massive toll on him. 120 minutes nearly every single game he played, but that's still the Egyptian king, and he always has an impact when he plays. Yeah, 100%. So everything I said, plus that, I think 7 is the consensus, and 7 is what I will go with. Luis Diaz just makes really strange noises come out my body every time that he plays. There's a couple of moments he was in the centre circle, he's dancing past 2 or 3 players, he goes past one and Fernandinho has no choice but to clean him out because he just can't deal with him. He's got bags of energy, bags of pace. We talk about Liverpool forwards being crucial to the press, particularly Manchester City trying to play out from the back and the goalkeeper's doing whatever he's trying to do. I just enjoy watching him play. Him and Thiago might be my 2 favourite players to watch at the minute, given the form that they're in. He's certainly up there. Cancelo was interesting battle because Cancelo normally plays on the left, but again, a point that Errol made, and I think a few others have made so far this season, is I don't know what he's going to do. So how's, Cancelo can do all the research that he wants. Is his right foot his favourite? Is it his left? Is he going to go to the byline? Is he going to cut inside? Is he going to shoot? Whatever. It feels like it's very early days, but it feels like he's got everything, which is only a good sign for Liverpool. Diaz, lads, solid 8 from Henry Lai. 9s, 8s. Gareth Bird says Diaz deserves a 9.5. Diablo Norway says Diaz 9. Dark Fields of Me says so many 6 touches, make you want to weep with glee sometimes, 9 out of 10. Faye Southall says Diaz, sexy footballer, football player, 9. Yeah, 9s, loads of 9s coming in. Diaz always dangerous, it never stops running. Yeah, so let's give him a 9 as well. Sadio Mane, I think 10. He got the official man of the match, so I'm gonna suggest a 10. If you think any different, do let me know. Again, I talked about the press. There's that goal there of, Zach Steffen has the ball, and we've been in that situation before where you think, I'll just chase the ball, force him into an error, force him into a decision to make, and it wasn't just the goal that he did that, and not just him, other players did it as well. But again, throwing his body on the line, going in for a slide tackle and see what happens. He could have easily got that horribly wrong and taken out the goalkeeper, got himself a booking, which he did in the end anyway. And secondly, that second goal for me, I think I'm not seeing the reaction on the internet, but it feels like it's massively underrated. That little side cut swipe into the bottom right hand corner. The goalkeeper's near post, which she should probably get. I'm not sure if that's a criticism of the goalkeeper, whether I'm seeing it on a slow motion replay, and it feels like it should be. It's faster than it actually looks. But for me, a 10 out of 10 performance from Sadio Mane. And again, you're looking at the opposite end of the scale. Senegal have just qualified for the World Cup on top of the world. Senegal won the AFCON on top of the world. So these polar opposites of these players and their mindset, and maybe even a little bit of confidence, are complete opposites. But I think you're seeing that on the pitch as well. Yeah, so in the comments, Sadio 100, anything less is criminal. Well, we're not going to go to 100, but yeah, thank you very much. Snipes Montana says, Sadio Mane, 10 out of 10. I think it was his best performance since coming back from AFCON. He needed a game like this to perform. Sadio 10, Charlotte S. Relentless. His mentality this season has been unmatched, possibly for the reasons that I've just said. Mane 10, he's my man of the match. Very good pressing and finishing today. Made Steffen look like Karius. Lol. One of the best I've seen Mane in a long time. 9. 9.7, close to the tenner. I'm just going to give him a 10, to be honest, because I think you could argue that he's man of the match. Substitutes, I'm not going to mark the substitutes because I think certainly Curtis Jones came on for a matter of minutes, as did Jota and Firmino. Henderson, I think, got over just 15 minutes. But I think he was just brought on to keep the midfield fresh and provide some energy into a tiring midfield into that game as well. Thank you so much for listening and for watching. Me and Errol are going to do the instant match reaction. So you want an extra half an hour available in video and podcast. We're going to do that. The final word will be tomorrow as well. So you get another hour on that game as well. I'm going to do around the league tomorrow. We've got Neil Jones this week. We've got build-up for Manchester United. Liverpool are on the cusp, potentially, of something great. And you can join us by signing up to redmenplus.com and getting, I know, man of the match. Don't need to tell me, you're not Chris. You'd really flow with the promotion now. Join us over on Redmen Plus for the rest of the season. Honestly, give it a try. If you don't like it, just completely biff it off. But if you need more content in your life from me, Chris, Paul, Steve, who'll be back this week, who got married, by the way, and Errol as well, please do go and sign up. The link should be in the description below. The man of the match was Mane with 33%. Who was second? Keita was second. Sadio Mane was your man of the match. These have been your player ratings after Liverpool are through to the FA Cup final. We'll see you shortly. Ta-ra.
Thank you so much for watching the video. If you would like to, check out redmenplus.com, our Liverpool streaming service and bonus content site that gives you more Redmen TV studio shows and documentaries, features and interviews, as well as a whole lot of podcast content as well. Head to redmenplus.com by clicking the button, go and subscribe, and yeah, fill your boots on amazing Liverpool content.